Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about how this world and our society can really drain our feminine energy. Not to be negative, but just so we are aware of it and that we actually can do something about it. In this world, it is so easy to get stuck in our masculine energy, in survival mode, thinking that we need to keep going and never take a break, and this really drains us of our feminine energy and is actually just unhealthy for us. So let's just dive into it. First of all, this world and the whole working system is made more for men. Men are more achieve oriented. They really thrive on working towards a goal, striving towards it. They really thrive in hustle culture. But men and women are just simply not the same. Obviously, as women, we have a different cycle. We have certain periods of the month that we feel lower on energy. At some points, we feel more energized. But for us, constantly pushing, not being able to take a break, needing to work hard constantly is just not healthy for us and puts us in the survival mode. We actually should be able to work more with our cycle. In certain periods of our cycle, we need to be able to rest more. At others, we can thrive more. And I'm not saying at all that women shouldn't work or that they can't work hard. Obviously they can. But in the way that a lot of women are doing it right now, they're really draining themselves. They're putting themselves in survival mode and really ruining their health because they're under so much stress. They become so bitter, resentful, negative, and they're just not thriving in the world and they're not fulfilled and happy. Our society is very achieve-oriented, and often we tie our self-worth through what we do and what we can achieve. But the thing is, the masculine energy is valued for what they do, for what they achieve. But the feminine is more valued for being, for your energy, your positive energy, and what you contribute by just being. But the problem is that a lot of women think the more I do, the more I achieve, the more I work, the more I will be valued. But that is not what we are valued for. And so a lot of women will overwork themselves, do a lot of things for others, push their own needs to the side to meet the needs of others, and they will just completely push themselves to the side, and this will really often result in them being very negative, very resentful, very bitter, as I already said, and they're just not fulfilled and happy. And this is not good for your own health, your own well-being, but also not for the others around you, because you will not vibrate on this high energy and you will push people away. You will attract more negativity into your life instead of attracting positivity. And this is why I think it is so important that women follow their purpose, that we actually do something in our lives that we love. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious and working hard as a woman. In fact, it is amazing. But overworking yourself, always putting yourself second, that is not going to serve you. Then the next thing is limiting beliefs. Because of how the world, how society is built, a lot of people have created these limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs like you need to work extremely hard to earn money. Showing your emotions is weak, emotions are bad, or money is evil. Limiting beliefs like that get passed on generation onto generation, and a lot of us don't challenge those beliefs. And that is pretty obvious because they've been ingrained in our minds for such a long time. But this is the moment to start to challenge your beliefs. And it's sometimes hard because a lot of these beliefs are being confirmed in your environment. But that's just because all of those people haven't ever challenged those beliefs. Start to adopt beliefs that actually serve you. For example, start to believe that it is possible, that you can actually follow your passion, build something online or whatever that can actually give you financial freedom. It is possible, and it is more possible than most people even think. And I'm not there yet at all, but I am seeing this in my direct environment with someone close in my family who actually worked for a couple of years on a business and is now earning money with it, already more than like a average 9 to 5. And this person is 19 years old. It is so possible. You don't have to accept that it should be this way. You can challenge your beliefs and you can achieve big things, but you know where it starts? It starts with you believing in yourself. So every limiting belief that you have, start to challenge it. For example, I can attract a healthy relationship. As I already said, money is bad, or you need to work extremely hard. It can be so many things. But especially challenge the limiting belief, I can't do this. Because when you don't believe that you can do something, you obviously won't be able to do it. It starts with you believing in yourself. I promise you. Also, a big thing that I see that a lot of people do is staying the same and believing that they are just this person and nothing can change that. But I think actually the purpose of life is to keep evolving and keep bettering yourself, and that is just so fun to do. But we want to naturally stay the same and keep this identity that we already have. But we need to learn that we actually can change ourselves, and a lot of these people that are staying the same are not actually happy with how they are or how their life looks at this moment. But they're just refusing to change because they think they cannot do it. Again, you need to believe that you can do something before you actually are going to try to do it. But if you have this big self-belief and you keep believing in yourself, I know you will go places. I know you will get there. But you need to believe that you can evolve as a person. You need to be happy with who you are already. Maybe not necessarily be happy, but you need to accept it. And from there on, work to become the version of yourself that you want to become. I think just staticness and staying in the same place, staying the same person, keeping the same people around you really, really, really hinders people, really withholds them from becoming the best version of themselves and actually achieving that life that they want to have. The next thing in this world, what drains us of our feminine energy, is social media. Social media, it has a lot of benefits also, but it also can have so much negative effects on you. First of all, comparing yourself, thinking that you constantly need to change something about yourself to be accepted or to be beautiful. Yes, I talked in the previous point about approving yourself, but it is different than thinking that there's something wrong with you specifically and that you need to change that to be accepted. This causes so many insecurities. I see so many women that are so beautiful, that put so much effort in themselves, but are still so insecure. And then you have women that maybe put less effort into themselves, or as seen as less beautiful if you look at like these norms on social media, but they're so much happier, so much more fulfilled. They have so much more positive energy, and this makes them so much more attractive as a person. They attract more positive friends, better relationships, more people and opportunities to them, and they actually need to put in far less effort to achieve that. I'm honestly not really on TikTok anymore, but what I do remember is that in 2020, when I was on it a lot, I was the most insecure. You then had all these TikTok dancers, these beautiful girls that would do all these dances, and I would compare myself like crazy. I thought there was something genuinely very wrong with me. I promise you, I know at the moment you feel like this is really consuming you, and this feeling, this jealousy, this comparison can't leave you, but you can turn it around, I promise you. But you need to stop comparing yourself, need to stop exposing yourself to these people that are making you insecure, and actually start to see your own worth. Start dressing the way, doing your hair the way, doing your makeup in a way that you love. Actually filling your life up with things that you love doing, building something for yourself, learning new things, and that will give you so much more confidence. and working on your energy and just being more grateful and positive in your life. And I promise you, this will get you so far. And also tell yourself you're beautiful. It sounds crazy that just affirming to yourself, I look good, that makes a difference, but it makes the biggest difference, I promise you. I think a lot of people, when they look in the mirror, they start pointing out things that are wrong with them. I also used to do that, but it sounds very weird. But if I pass the mirror now, my thoughts are completely different. I can see like, oh, I look good. Yeah, I just think positive thoughts about myself. I never thought that I would achieve that, but it's really possible. Now, how does social media drain our feminine energy even more? Because it just consumes us. It takes our time away. We scroll for hours. We compare ourselves. We see negative things. We see people arguing. We see gossip. We see useless things. And all these things are just taking hours of our energy a day that we could have put in so much more fulfilling things. Like going out with friends. Like doing a creative hobby that is really enjoyable. Playing with your dog. Going for a walk, exploring your city, doing a workout, doing a dancing class, reading, journaling, working on yourself, learning something new. Do you realize what you can do with all these hours? You can actually put them into yourself, level up your well-being, make yourself more peaceful in your mind, improve yourself so much, but you're wasting all these hours on your phone. And it's not even your fault, because these things are so addicting. I really recommend that you watch like a documentary. There are some documentaries that talk about how social media apps are trying to get your attention. Actually start to get the ick from social media. Make sure that you get the ick from it. You won't even want to go on it anymore, because you're like, you're stealing my life, literally. And also, what's draining us is there's always so much stimuli, so many sounds, so many visual things. Like we're scrolling, we're seeing 10,000 things in an hour. Sometimes we're even using 2 screens. We're watching the television, but we're also on our phone. Our mind doesn't get any rest. Or we're listening to music. I think we really need these peaceful moments to meditate or to do breath work or to just stare outside of the window and do nothing. What I recommend is pick an activity that you really love, something that is not on a screen, like drawing or like painting by number, like fun things like that, or dancing, whatever it is, making a puzzle, and say to yourself, when I want to scroll on TikTok, I'm going to do that activity instead. Replace scrolling with more fulfilling and fun activities and things that are actually going to bring you into your feminine energy. All these creative things like drawing and dancing and taking a walk, they are all going to fulfill you way more and actually fuel your feminine energy. The next thing in this world that is really draining our feminine energy is rushing. We're always going, wanting to go somewhere, needing to do something. And I talked about this already a lot in other videos, but rushing really drains you of your feminine energy because it brings you in a survival mode. And that's why I say, slow down, make sure you have enough time to get ready when you need to get somewhere. And I know people will say, I don't have the time for that, I need to rush. But I find that if I slow down throughout my day, I do activities slower, with more intention, I get them done way quicker. If I'm trying to rush, I will procrastinate way more and get way less things done. So slowing down, I promise you, it will actually speed you up in life. And ideas will flow to your mind so much quicker. And I also got a comment on a short, and I was talking about slowing down also. And it was like, right, let's skip sleeping. So I think this person was trying to say, I don't have the time to slow down. But then I'm like, you do have the time to scroll through YouTube and post this comment. We're losing so much time doing things that are literally wasting our time, like engaging in drama, posting negative comments, gossip. We're wasting so much time on things that don't matter. And we need to rest and be able to do things like going on our phone sometimes, but engaging in negative energy, it doesn't make any sense. Look at your regular day and try to see where you are losing a lot of time and distracting yourself. What also is very draining for our feminine energy is suppressing our emotions. Some of us got taught that crying is weak. We shouldn't cry. It's embarrassing. You don't need to cry. That we shouldn't show our emotions and we just need to suppress them. That is not healthy. It will all build up and come out in things like irritation. You're just going to explode. You're going to be really reactive towards people if you haven't worked through these emotions and really felt these emotions. And I understand that in some scenarios you can't show your emotions and cry like crazy. Sometimes you need to suppress them for a little bit. But when you are in a safe place or you're home, be able to let these emotions out. Cry if you need to. Go for a run to run it out. Punch a pillow, scream into a pillow. Let it all out. Maybe reflect on it for a little bit. Feel those emotions for a moment if you have to and actually let them out. And I also want to talk about being shamed for crying. Like, when I was younger, I would cry pretty fast. And it's not that I've been shamed like extremely, but like once I had to like cry in class when I was still in elementary school, and the teacher would say, when you go to high school, if you do that in class, they're all going to laugh at you. Or other people saying, you're a big girl, you don't need to cry. And that just really gives you the feeling when you're crying or you're crying around someone else, that it is bad and that it is shameful and that it is embarrassing. But crying, like, we can cry for some reason. It is healthy. We release the stress hormone, cortisol, through our tears. We actually release stress when we cry. It is such an amazing function of our body to let our emotions out. Never let someone shame you for crying. Never let someone shame you for crying. It is okay. And I understand that you in certain situations can't, but when you get home or when you're with someone who actually supports you, be able to let it out. And I actually do. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing weak about it. It is just how our body works. And then the last thing is disconnection. We're disconnected to nature because we're inside a lot. And because we're stimulated so much, we often don't even focus anymore on the beauty of nature. Because we're stimulated so much and we see all these thousands of TikToks, we don't see the beauty and simple things outside anymore. When you are getting so much cheap dopamine, life without a screen, without TikTok, without all the stimuli will become boring to you. And that is actually crazy and actually scary, I think. Make sure that you come outside again, that you actually look around, that you actually appreciate what you're seeing around you, that you see the beauty in it. And like how crazy all these things are. How wonderful it is. Also, we're so much more disconnected from each other. It drives me crazy sometimes when you are out with friends or with a family member and they're on their phone a lot. I used to do this too when I was like 14, 15, 16, definitely, and maybe still sometimes. But I try to really put my phone on the side. But how much people are on their phones and it's only getting worse. It's driving me crazy. Like, I have realized how important human connection is for your happiness and to be fulfilled. But I see that people are more and more on their phone. They're just not present in the moment and they're so disconnected. And it drives me crazy because I know it is so important for them as well to connect, to actually be fulfilled and be happy. I would really recommend get off your phone. When you're somewhere, actually connect with people, look around, and don't close yourself off in your bubble and be on your phone the whole time. It's literally like you're not there, like you're not present. And being present, being in your body, that is feminine energy. actually living in the moment, actually being carefree and just being yourself and daring to show yourself to the world and not having to distract yourself with your phone. Those are the things I wanted to talk about today. I hope you learned something from this and that you became aware of more things. I really hope that you can implement some advice of this video in your life and that it will actually make your life a bit better and help improving you. I thank you so much for listening and I will see you in the next video.